Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back for another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire OU rated battle here on Pokemon Showdown. Now, today I have just a glorious battle for you. I just have a glorious battle for you. So, basically, this was a battle between, me on my alt account, Java Crush, if you didn't already know, against a guy by the name of Panda Dog 123. So, I was actually doing some laddering on the, the Showdown OU ladder. I'm actually, in fact, on this account, I'm pretty sure I'm halfway to 1,300. I think I'm like 1,200 something. I don't know. I'm super close, basically, but either way, so this was kind of a high-end match, to my standards. I'm not the best battler, but, I got up to, what I consider high ladder for myself. And so, it was a really intense battle. It was really close. As you see, I'm bringing a pretty different team. This was a team that I actually put together the day of, so today is 9/29/2015. I actually put this team together today and tried it out today and did some laddering today, so this was all today. And, it's a pretty spectacular team, not gonna lie. Like, if you guys actually end up liking the team and you want to see me do a showdown live with it, I will definitely do it because it's an amazing team. It's kind of like an unorthodox-ish kind of team. I mean, I know Landorus is on there, I know Ferrothorn's on there, but everything else is kind of like at the bottom of OU, like not always, you don't see these mons in like super high-end competitive play. Like, you don't always see a Kieran Black, and I really like Kieran Black, by the way. But yeah, so if you guys do end up liking the team, be sure to let me know. I will definitely do a showdown live on it. But either way, we're gonna be going up against this guy by the name of Panda Dog 123, and it's a very interesting battle. So let's just hop right into this. So he ends up leading off with this Infernape as I lead off with my Skarmory. Here I know, I still have my ability and my sturdy intact, so I'm like, you know what, I can get up a free layer of spikes, and we're gonna see what this Infernape is all about. So right off the bat, he actually surprises me and goes for the Fire Blast, revealing that it's actually a specially offensive Infernape. Like, I haven't seen that since 4th Gen. That's crazy. So he brings me down to my sturdy. It's all good. I get up my layer of spikes, and I actually, I don't know if I could have made a better play here. This was kind of a pretty good play in my mind, seeing how Skarmory already got up its entry hazards. I don't really need it for anything else on his team. So basically what I decided to do was try to get up another layer of spikes. A Fire Blast is not the most accurate move, so I was just hoping that he was probably going to miss it. Either way, I do get some lefty's health back. I go for the spikes here as he just Fire Blasts. I don't even get a chance to get my second layer of hazards up. He ends up knocking out my Skarmory as I decided to go into Landorus because looking at his team, nothing wants to take an Earthquake. Like, nothing. I mean, barring maybe Magnet Rise Klefki. At the time, I was assuming it was Magnet Rise Klefki, actually. But either way, I bring in my Landorus, and honestly, my opponent's mindset, he was probably thinking, like, alright, Infernape took out Skarmory, he really did hid his job. So I'm pretty sure he just decided to sack Infernape here. As I bring in my Landorus, I'm actually able to outspeed it with the Choice Scarf. So I EQ, I actually get a crit. That did not matter. Let's be honest. That did not matter. So I'm able to knock out the Infernape as he actually goes Klefki here. So this gets me kind of skeptical. He brings in his Klefki. I'm like, alright, he just switches it in on a whim. I'm almost 100% positive this guy is trying to Magnet Rise. So basically, I go with the smarter play, the safer play. I'm proud of myself. Here, I just hard switch out. I bring in my Sableye as Klefki actually gets up in spikes. So I bring in Sableye, right? And so I go straight for the Calm Mind, because I knew that it was probably packing Dazzling Gleam, and I knew that if I was able to get up, some more, like, a special defensive boost, then I could actually take one and then proceed to Will-O-Wisp. So, basically, I get up my Calm Mind, he plays right into the trap, he Dazzling Gleams, I'm actually able to take it, and so he gets some lefty self back, as the following turn he gets up Spikes, and then I proceed to Will-O-Wisp, just in case, he was running, like, Foul Play or something. I didn't want my Starmie to get, just stomped on out of nowhere. So, basically, I'm able to burn the Klefki, he's gonna take some damage from that, and I decide just to hard switch into Starmie here. So Klefki actually ends up going straight for the Dazzling Gleam. I don't take it as well as I anticipated, but it's okay. So basically he gets burned. Basically what happens, he T-Waves my Starmie. I am so mad about what happens here, because I would have been easily able to 2-hit KO this Klefki with a Hydro Pump, but this man goes for the T-Wave and actually paralyzes me for his turn. So that kind of sucks. Basically at this point in the game, I'm like, alright, well, maybe my main priority is not trying to Hydro Pump this Klefki. Maybe I should just get rid of the hazards. So basically he goes for the Dazzling Gleam. I live on 11 as I just decide to Rapid Spin, and of course, due to my life orb, I'm actually brought down to 1%, and what happens here is really funny. So, I ran the clock down a little bit more than, I probably should have, just to kind of psych my opponent out. I was like, maybe if I take longer, he's gonna over-predict and, predict the switch and get up spikes. This man falls right into my trap. He gets burned. He actually goes straight for the spikes, allowing me to Hydro Pump. So the Hydro Pump actually brings him down to 2%. I die to Life Orb. He gets some lefty health back, but then inevitably dies to burn. So I'm like, oh my god, this battle is legit the most balanced match I've ever seen. I lost 2 Pokemon. He lost 2 Pokemon. There's spikes on my side of the field. There's spikes on his side of the field. This battle is really just going to come down to skill level. So he goes into Garchomp as I actually bring in Sableye, and I know that I know what the obvious play is. I'm like, alright, this man probably going to get up rocks. Either that or he's just going to go straight for the offensive attack. Either way, it doesn't matter. What I want to do is actually burn this thing. So due to my Prankster ability, I'm able to outspeed. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, actually, as he actually EQs. Alright, so this is great, because I know that, now that he's burned, Earthquake's gonna do absolutely nothing. And I'm like, okay, Sableye is just gonna have so much fun against this Garchomp, like, it's not even crazy. I believe Earthquake only did 19%, so I'm like, oh my god, I can just spam Recover, spam Calm Mind, and this Garchomp's just gonna sit in here. So, basically, he gets hurt by his burn. Of course, due to Prankster, I'm able to recover. Garchomp actually gets up his rocks here, which is kind of bad for me, considering now the entry hazards aren't as balanced as they were before. Here, I actually go for the Shadow Ball, predicting the Gardevoir, because you know how perfect it would have been for him just to go straight into Gardevoir and, you know, take out my Sableye. But no, he actually stays in Stealth Rock, so I Shadow Ball. It really doesn't do that much damage. He ends up going for the Dragon Tail, actually bringing in my Ferrothorn, and so I'm like, alright, this is a perfect opportunity, an absolutely perfect opportunity to scout for Fire Blast. And so, again, I make the safer play, I make the smarter play, and I decide to hard switch out here and bring in my Sableye as Garchomp actually reveals that he does have Fire Blast and inevitably takes out my Sableye. So I'm like, whatever. I'm glad that it wasn't my Ferrothorn, okay? Because Ferrothorn, is actually going to do so much work against this guy's team. It can stall out Starmie, it can Gyro Ball Weavile, it can Gyro Ball Gardevoir, it can even somewhat stall out Garchomp, you know, basically. So I was like, you know, Ferrothorn's too good of an asset to lose to a Fire Blast. I'm going to play it as safe as possible. So, you know, Sableye ends up going down, and I just decided to bring in my Landorus here because, again, looking at his team, now legit nothing on his team wants to take an Earthquake. Garchomp can't live it, Weavile can't live it, Starmie, I actually don't think, no, Starmie does not have enough bulk to live it. I'll actually run the calcs right now because I'm kind of curious. Let's go Starmie, OU Offensive Spinner, and then we'll go Lando T, Choice Scarf. EQ actually does 91, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe, I can't remember if the Starmie, I did some damage to it or not. Yeah, I don't remember if I did some damage to it or not, but either way, I bring in my Landers, I'm like, alright, nothing really wants to take an EQ. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so, I calculated, right, and I was like, okay, Earthquake's gonna do 91, and then if he switches in, he's gonna take Spikes damage, so we really can't switch in anything. He can't do anything, so I just assume, you know, Earthquake, it's the best play, so I get the Intimidate. It really doesn't matter. I end up going for the EQ, able to knock out the Garchomp as this man brings in Starmie. So this is actually where I had to do some calcs because I really wasn't sure what the deal was. I'll pull it up for you guys. So basically I was like, does Starmie outspeed Scarf Landorus? I really cannot remember, and I was like, maybe I should just stay in an EQ. But I decided to calc, and I think this is what saved the game for me. I calced it and found out that Starmie actually outspeeds Scarf Landorus by so much it is not even funny. So I'm like, oh my god, I almost just made like a horrible play. So here I just decide to hard switch out. I bring in my Ferrothorn because I know it can, you know, pretty much stall out the Starmie. He ends up going for the Rapid Spin. He's gonna take all those Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmet damage as he gets rid of the hazards on the side of the field. He ends up going for the Ice Beam though, which I can take pretty well as I get up to Leech Seed. Again, Ferrothorn's a monster. People really need to use Ferrothorn more. It's just too good. In comes Weavile. I'm like, okay, this is actually great. I get up my rocks, and I'm like, okay, this Weavile, it cannot OHKO me. There's nothing this Weavile can do to actually OHKO me. So basically what I do, I click Gyro Ball, he goes for the knockoff, actually ends up taking Iron Barbs damage, Rocky Helmet damage, then he knocks off the Rocky Helmet as I proceed to Gyro Ball. So here, I'm already thinking, alright, I got this game in the bag. We got Kieran Black for Starmie, and basically Ferrothorn can kind of put in some work against Gardevoir if it really comes down to it. But either way, I end up knocking out the Weavile. I'm feeling pretty good. In comes Starmie, and then I realize, oh crap, yeah, Ferrothorn's pretty much useless now. And so basically, I just sack it. I just let him go for the Ice Beam. I'm like, you know what, Ferrothorn, you did your job. You got rid of Weavile, you baited Garchomp, you did so much for the team. Like, I cannot ask for any more of you. I bring in my Kieran Black, and I know that I can live an Ice Beam. I'm like, alright, this game's going downhill for my opponent real fast. He goes for the Ice Beam, I'm actually able to live it. I proceed to Fusion Bolt, I'm actually able to knock out the Starmie. And at this point, I'm thinking, alright, I should be able to outspeed Gardevoir, but will I OHKO? I don't know. Now, in comes Gardevoir. And this Gardevoir is like none other I've ever seen. This Gardevoir is really unique and actually kind of inspired me to build a team around it. Like, I kind of want to build a team around this Gardevoir because I think it's really interesting. It's just a genius strategy. Like, I don't know why people haven't used this strategy before, but let me just roll the clip. Alright, so he traces my terrible. It's all good. I proceed, or he actually goes Mega. I proceed to Ice Beam. It does quite a bit of damage. I can actually 2-hit KO this thing. But then he proceeds to rest. And I'm like, okay, what is this thing? Like, this isn't like the standard wall-breaking Gardevoir that I know. So he sleeps, right? He's asleep, and he actually goes for the Snore. And due to his Pixelate ability, he actually knocks out my Kyurem, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh god, oh god. Like, Landorus comes in. If I don't knock this Gardevoir out with an EQ, it could potentially 2-hit KO me, if not 1-hit KO me with Snore. And so at this point, I'm like, alright, it's really just going to come down to rolls. That's really what it is. I bring in my Landorus, get my Intimidate. It really does not matter. That does not matter. I go straight for the EQ, bringing Gardevoir down to 23 as he's asleep. He goes for the Snore. I live on 34, and then I proceed to EQ, knocking out the Gardevoir, bringing a conclusion to that amazing game. I don't know, that game was just so fun. I was using a really fun team, going up against a really, you know, and also, like, another, like, really fun team. You know, we saw some really interesting things on that guy's team, like, especially offensive Infernape. Haven't seen that since, like, Diamond and Pearl. Gardevoir with Snore? That's so crazy. I don't know. I just had a great time battling. I thought this was a really interesting battle, and I'm, you know, pretty happy to be showing it to you guys. So, either way, that's gonna actually wrap up the match. So if you guys enjoyed, do not forget to go and leave a like. Thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to take it easy, you guys.